Coming up on this edition of Full Sail Live, the U.S. and Canada square off for gold. Who hit the jackpot? We'll have that answer coming up. Plus, the Buffalo Bandits are in the midst of one of their worst regular season stretches in almost a decade. We'll discuss how they can get back on track. All that and more coming up on Full Sail Live, and it starts right now. Hello and welcome to this edition of Full Sail Live. I'm Marcus Richardson. While Italy, a European country, may have been the host of the Winter Olympics, it was two North American countries, the U.S. and Canada, that took center stage for Olympic Hockey Sunday. As the two neighboring countries prepared for battle with gold medals and the ultimate bragging rights on the line, in the end, it was the Americans who prevailed on Jack Hughes' overtime winning goal just 1 minute and 41 seconds into the extra period, giving USA the gold. Joining us now with more on the Americans' overtime victory against the Canadians is our very own John Karuba. John, just how historically significant was this victory for the U.S. over Canada?
Marcus, 1980 was the last time the U.S. won Olympic hockey gold. The Fog was the #1 movie in America. Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Queen was the #1 hit on the Billboard music charts. 46 years ago was the last time the U.S. brought home the gold in men's hockey. That is, until Sunday. Jack Hughes' heroic goal also marked the first time that the Americans had ever beaten the Canadians in men's ice hockey with the gold medal at stake. USA netminder Connor Hellebuyck made 41 saves on 42 shots in the victory, something that Hughes was quick to point out in his post-game press conference. However, for Hughes, the scorer of what is now known as the Golden Goal, his excitement for scoring was masked only by his patriotic pride. Whether he's playing in North America, Canada, the U.S., or across the Atlantic in Italy, Hughes has proven himself to be quite the goal scorer no matter the stage or spotlight. The 24-year-old, who is a native of right here in Orlando, Florida, was drafted as the #1 overall pick in 2019. And as you can see by these numbers and stats, it's not hard to see why. Hughes has shown the ability to put the puck in the net, a trait that served him and Team USA well in their gold medal triumph against Team Canada. Hughes, the young upstart forward, was compared to a young upstart forward on the 1980 U.S. Olympic team, Mike Eruzione. Both led their respective teams in goals scored. However, the Eruzione-Hughes comparison is not the only statistical connection between the 1980 gold medal winning team and the 2026 version of the squad. In the aftermath following Team USA's victory, comparisons were made between the 1980 gold medal team that upset Soviet Russia and beat Finland in the gold medal round and the current 2026 squad that also brought home the gold for the USA. The head-to-head statistical comparisons demonstrate that the very thought of forever linking these two teams in USA hockey history is valid. As we look at the numbers, these analytics show that both the 1980 team and 2026 squad relied heavily on goaltending, consistent offense, and elite special teams. While one was considered by many analysts to be an underdog and the other fulfilling expectations, the end result and the strategical path they undertook to get the gold were almost statistically identical. With the 2026 gold medal officially theirs, the U.S. players will return to their respective NHL squads to compete for the right to hoist the Stanley Cup. Though they may go back to being on opposing squads, these players will forever share a memorable bond, bringing home a gold medal for the United States of America. They will have another chance to do the same thing in 4 years from now, 2030.
John, if 2026 is any indication, we should be in store for an exciting encore for the U.S. men's hockey team come the 2030 Winter Olympics. Coming up on Full Sail Live, we head from the hockey rink to the lacrosse field. What is going on with the National Lacrosse League's three-time defending champion Buffalo Bandits? Full Sail Live reporter John Karuba will join us after the break to discuss. Welcome back to Full Sail Live. I'm Marcus Richardson. For the past 6 seasons, the Buffalo Bandits have dominated the National Lacrosse League, winning 3 consecutive National Lacrosse League championships and making 5 straight finals appearances. Buffalo, though, has currently hit a rough patch, having lost 5 of their past 6 contests for the first time in almost 6 years. Joining me now with more on the Bandits' prolonged slump, we once again bring in John Karuba. John, why has this team gotten so far off track?
Marcus, one of the biggest reasons for the Bandits' struggles, they've stopped scoring, period. According to NLL.com, the Buffalo Bandits have the second worst scoring offense in the entire league over the last 6 games, in which Buffalo is just 1-5. What's also playing a considerable role in the Bandits' recent woes is that the goaltending and the defense have also regressed noticeably. During this rough stretch, the Bandits have a -7 goal differential. Combine that with the fact that the offense has scored less goals per contest than they have in almost a half-decade, and they're allowing the most goals over a 6-game stretch in franchise history. Add all of it together, and it doesn't equate to success, Marcus.
It certainly doesn't, John. What are the biggest obstacles hindering the Bandits' chances of turning this season around?
The Bandits find themselves currently sitting 2.5 games out of a playoff spot in 10th place out of 14 teams, and they have the 3rd hardest remaining schedule in the entire National Lacrosse League. The Bandits are going to need to have a big second half of the season to even have an opportunity to compete for a 4th straight championship.
There's no question this is not the position the Bandits are accustomed to being in. What has been so different about this Bandits team from the one just a season ago?
It starts with 2 names that currently call the Las Vegas Desert Dogs their team now: Chase Frazier and Chris Cloutier. They were integral parts of the team that won the 3 consecutive championships, and losing them to free agency in this past offseason has been a brutal blow for this Bandits team. Cloutier and Frazier were 2 of the Bandits' top scorers from a season ago. They also helped the Bandits win those 3 titles and make 6 straight finals appearances. Losing them both has had a negative impact on the team's offensive and defensive numbers, something that shows in the stats. Since these 2 players left prior to the start of the season, several of the main categories for the Bandits have trended in the wrong direction. Offensive goals per game are down, goals allowed are up, shot attempts per game, you name it, it's gotten worse since those 2 players left town and headed to Sin City. Buffalo still hasn't been able to find a way to replicate or replace the production these 2 players provided successfully even during this past season. From these stats, it's clear just how much the Bandits organization is missing both Frazier and Cloutier.
John, thank you for your time and insights on the Buffalo Bandits. Buffalo's next game is on Saturday against the league's top team, the Saskatchewan Rush. Speaking of defending champions, when we return on Full Sail Live, with the Los Angeles Dodgers spring training underway, our Dodgers insider, Norm Rodriguez, joins the program to discuss LA's chances of winning a 3rd consecutive World Series title. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Full Sail Live. I'm John Karuba. It's time for this week's Around the Diamond segment where we break down a Major League Baseball team. And this week, in sticking with our theme of defending champions, it's fitting to talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have won back-to-back World Series. Joined by our Los Angeles Dodgers insider, Norm Rodriguez. I call him Normstradamus. And Norm, thank you so much for coming on. Want to get right into it? The Los Angeles Dodgers are back-to-back defending World Series champions. What are the biggest keys, in your opinion, if they hope to make it a three-peat?
There's two things that come to mind for me, John, when it comes to having to get that three-peat successfully. The first thing is getting a starting ace in the starting pitching rotation that can be on the stabilized side. Clayton Kershaw retiring after a long and illustrious career after they succeeded going back-to-back after defeating the Blue Jays, obviously, in that hard-fought World Series this past year. Yes, Ohtani is a dual threat. He can pitch and hit, but if I'm Andrew Dave Roberts, I'm sticking with Ohtani as mainly a hitter and base runner because, in my opinion, he's so superior with that. They just got to come up with that solid starting pitcher. Another thing is they've got to come up with, on the offensive side, more base running power. Yes, Ohtani had a 50-50 2 years prior, but he only had 20 steals last season. So they picked up Kyle Tucker in free agency after 1 year with the Cubs, and he can add 30 to 35 stolen bases for the team, no problem.
Prediction time, Normstradamus. You're usually so good at these. 2026 World Series. Who's playing in it?
I can see LA getting back for a third year in a row, even in spite of the changes. I can't also count out your team, John, the Yankees, with the power hitting at Aaron Judge of getting to the series.
And with that prediction, Norm, we thank you so much for your time and coming on. We appreciate it. That'll do it for this edition of Full Sail Live. I'm John Karuba. Thank you for tuning in. Join us again next time when we'll break down the rest of the Los Angeles Dodgers NL West foes and their strengths and weaknesses. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Full Sail Live. Until next time, I'm John Karuba. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Good night, everybody.